Welcome to the Be That Healing Girl podcast. And today we're going to be talking about on this episode when it feels like you're doing all the work in the relationship. And I also just want to say I have this concept that I'm working through and teaching, and this feels like a big topic. And the other podcast that I have in mind is going to feel similar, but there are some definite differences. So if you are in a relationship and you feel like you are putting the effort in, you are arranging the dates, you are keeping their schedule in mind, you are saving space for them on your calendar, and you really putting a plus effort into the relationship, and they're doing a good job, but somehow you feel like you're really the one kind of moving the ship. If that is you, this episode is really going to hit, okay? And if you're new here, hi, my name is Claire. I'm a relationship coach, and I specifically love working with high achieving, high performing girlies that are seriously, you are climbing the corporate ladder. Maybe you're working on that corner office, or maybe you're an entrepreneur where you have multiple businesses, or you've built a really big business, or maybe you're an academic and you have letters behind your name. Maybe you're in medical school. And when I look at the women that I really resonate with the most, that really connect with what I'm saying, this is who I love talking to. So if that is you, you're in the right spot. And I also just want to say, if you are enjoying this episode or any other episode, that hitting the 5 stars means so much. Thank you ahead of time for doing that. We're at 325, I think, last time I checked, and on the road to 400. Let's do it together. I just want to say thank you ahead of time. And also, fun news, if you are in the SoCal area, fun thing that I just decided to whip up, because that's what we do. We follow the creative urge, is I have a mini retreat called Align, and it's on the ocean front in Encinitas, San Diego. It is going to be just magical. I got this beautiful beach house right on the water. Think sound bath, meditation, gentle movement, and obviously we're going to workshop the heck out of your anxious attachment and get you feeling really grounded, really calm. And that is one thing that, if you didn't know about this about me, I have been going to and participating, facilitating, leading women's retreats for more than 10 years now. I have this in my repertoire. So this is one of my first ones in this arena, and I'm really excited because it's actually where I really shine. So if you're in the SoCal area, then hit me up. I'll put the link in the show notes. And stay tuned. Stay tuned. If you are vibing with like a beach theme, maybe we're going to go to Mexico or Italy. I don't know. It's going to be super luxe. It's going to be an escape. It's going to be an experience for you to truly transform and experience change. I'm an experiential learner. I like to touch the orange thing in the toaster. Fun fact, I did that as a child, even though my parents said, don't do that. I feel like I learned best through experience, and I feel that we can think about things all we want, but truly experience is it. Okay, so if you're around, let's do it. I want to dive into this, and I really feel that this is so common, specifically for the women that I love connecting with and supporting in this way, because you're kind of dialed in to being a really hard worker, okay? You know how to get it done. You have the ability to see the end goal and work towards it. And if you are an academic, you have a medical degree, if you have built a successful business, if you are climbing the corporate ladder, this is all, you know this. You know how to set your eyes on the prize and put the steps in to do the work, okay? And of course, I totally get that. I've dabbled in all of those areas. And for me, I really used to feel like, well, if I don't step up, if I don't keep making the ship move, then they'll lose interest. Or they're going to just find somebody else, or they'll just stop liking me, all right? And I absolutely can resonate with that, because if I look back at my history, that was always the case, whether I wanted to admit it to myself or not, that I wanted to, and I felt compelled to really give it my all. I really was under this belief that if I did anything less than excellence, then it just was all not worth it or it wasn't a good relationship. And the reality was, in this effort to give it my all, to be working so hard in the relationship, the reality was I was feeling exhausted. I was feeling tired, or I was feeling like I was just, the load was all on me. And like, what's up with that? Can you just figure out what we're doing next? Or can you get it on the calendar? And I just want you to know I get this. And it really took me a long time. I mean, it's taken me years, y'all, for real, to get into a relationship where it's flopped. It is flopped, where I can relax and they are not only putting the work in, but they're kind of blowing my mind. With Craig is blowing my mind with how he shows up in the relationship. So I want to just take a little side trip here, because there's also something that made me realize around what was happening in the past in my relationship with a current experience that I'm having, which is I have coaches, okay? This is like, coaching for me is an investment because I know the transformation that happens when we have structure, we have support and accountability. So I tell all my clients, especially my one-on-one clients, don't trust a coach who doesn't have a coach. Of course I have coaches. I have a coach for business, nutrition, the whole thing. But I want to specifically talk about my nutrition coach, which also, if you didn't know this about me, I have a huge background, long background in fitness. Yoga, strength training. I was the only head female strength and conditioning coach in Denver public schools for 5 years. I know I have a background in this. So for me, when I hired this coach, when I was coming out of a burnout period in my body, hormonal changes, I decided to work with this coach. And one thing that I'm currently working on is metabolic reset. I'm reverse dieting. And honestly, I kind of knew that there would be some mental strain with this, because for years, part of the reason I'm in this position now, in this metabolic rebuild. Also, if you didn't know this, I don't edit my podcast. This is just, I practice powerfully imperfect. So you're just going to get this one shot, all right? If you don't believe me, watch on YouTube. And so I am in this position of metabolic reset and reverse dieting because I have been under eating, restricting, and following some kind of subconscious restriction my entire life. And this is also, slight trigger warning. I have a rich history, wink, wink, rich history around watching what I eat. You know what I mean? So I knew, and we had kind of been talking about this. This is the time period, and I am fully in a metabolic reset, which basically means I am eating a surplus. And if that sounds absolutely crazy to you, believe me, a year ago or 5 years ago, I've been like, whoa, like, you're eating how many calories and like, what's happening? And so I am experiencing, oh my gosh, okay, I'm feeling really full and really satiated. And it's seriously kind of blowing my mind. I'm having so many carbs, all the carbs. It's so great. And I also found myself in this old pattern where I was upper limiting. And in the personal development world, that basically means I hit my ceiling. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. My pants are really feeling snug, super snug, snugger. I've, gone up a size, like, which is absolutely fine. But I noticed myself that, oh, wow, I'm kind of not feeling great with that. And one thing that was so powerful when I got the support was to remind myself that if you have been acting a certain way or behaving a certain way subconsciously or consciously for a long period of time, then healthy will feel weird. Healthy will feel different, and sometimes different feels bad. What? I'm not saying this, that obviously eating maintenance, slightly more than maintenance in calories, is like healthy, right? Really being able to enjoy the softness that comes to our bodies when we're actually growing. And what I realized was, oh my gosh, this is the same thing when we feel like we're doing all the work in the relationship. When we learn how to hold ourselves, when we learn how to be in the place where actual secure relationships are built, where they're stable, it means that we're not over giving. We're not in excess. Now, I know that sounds strange because I'm talking about eating in excess. Like, I wouldn't even say excess, it's healthy. But when you're not used to something, it's going to feel strange. I'll say that again. If you're not used to doing something, it's going to feel strange. So if you're not used to like leaning back in the relationship, if your normal state is to do all the work, then it's going to feel strange. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel different to not do that. And my friends, listen to me. That's the point. The point is for you to lean back and allow them to step forward, step up. Now, that doesn't mean that we're making this a game or manipulating them, but really learning secure relationships starts with understanding that you don't have to do all the work and you shouldn't have to do all the work. And I know some of you out there are like, but what if I don't? That's literally what I'm covering in this upcoming training in the next month in March. It's literally all about that. But I'm just here to remind you and tell you that feeling healthy and being at a healthy, stable state is going to feel different if you have never allowed that to be. So if you're used to, and I'll just say this from a body weight standpoint. And what I also just want to share is I'm a relationship coach. We are in relationship with everything. This is also true when my clients come to me. Obviously, they come to me with this anxiety in relationship, and they start to notice, oh my gosh, I have had a history of anxiety with food, or anxiety in business, or with coworkers, or communicating with my boss. Like, you start to kind of see these things. So I'm making these connections because I'm gonna guess that you may have dabbled. The majority of you have experienced this. So eating more when I have been restricting for a long time or controlling, then yes, eating what is normal is going to feel weird and different. And the same thing for you. If you have been doing all of the work, you have been in excess in a relationship, then it's going to feel weird when you're not in excess. Are y'all picking up what I'm laying down? So I just want to lay that out, that this is an excess, right? When you are feeling like you're doing all the work, that's excessive. That is excessive. So it's really about healing that so you don't do all the work, and that's why you're feeling tired. That's why you're exhausted. That's why you're feeling just like wrung out, because you're putting this excess in. When you learn how to hold yourself, when you learn how to be contained and feel stable and feel held in yourself, you won't need to feel like you have to do all the work. And I just know this from personal experience when I work with one-on-one clients. This is holding yourself it's a skill set. It is a skill set that we need to work on. And I know that if you have a history of doing all the work and working hard, I know that you know how to do that. It is also true that when you start to get wobbly in that, so for my own experience, when I was getting wobbly in it, I was like, oh my gosh, like what is happening to me? And he quickly dialed it in of like, this is normal. This is, if you have a habit of this, it's going to feel abnormal. And I was like, oh my gosh, I totally get this because I teach this to my clients and I'm teaching it to you right now. And again, the telltale sign is that you're feeling tired, you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling like you're doing so much. That's your sign. Okay? So that being said, I am really excited to get to the mailbox today because if you didn't know and realize, One of the things that I do in my community, the Healing Girl Gang, is we go to the mailbox. And in the mailbox, it's so fun because one of the things that we do in the Healing Girl Gang is there's Q&A. Obviously, we have trainings, there's workbooks, there's implementation days, where it's all about the action. So also, fun fact is that we're opening the shop soon. So say you're listening to this later in 2025 or however long this stays up, forever and ever, I hope, is if you have missed the training, when the store is open, you'll be able to come back and listen to these trainings and check those out. Okay, let's go to Paula. Paula, am I saying that right? Okay. So Paula's question is, hi all, I'm not in a good space. Totally feel that. I've been seeing this guy for 3 months now. He is in medical school and I know he is busy and has been very open about it. He only dates one person at a time, which made me feel it is okay to just date him to see where things take us. All was well and good initially when the dynamics changed. I'm the one who's initiating things. Gosh, this is a great episode for you. I feel like I'm the only one working and it makes me really sad and frustrated. I don't like feeling stupid, needy, and desperate, but seems like this is how I feel when things don't go my way. I'm very type A. I struggle with failure and not getting what I want. I always want to be seen as a strong person, hence this is all not comfortable. Wow. Okay, there's more. And I try to be vulnerable with him and communicate my needs. Last night we fought. All right, there's a lot here. I'm just going to see. Okay. I made me feel angrier and he doesn't budge and just try to commit. Then I felt like it was ending. I made a compromise again because I don't want to let this go. I said, fine, I will wait and not expect anything from him for 4 weeks. Okay, I'm going to stop this right here. So, this is literally what I'm talking about in this episode. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but I don't read these ahead of time. I want to get like the gist and the download. So a couple of things, Paula, that I'm seeing right away. And the piece here that seems really important is things all was well and good initially, then the dynamics changed. And this is very common, I notice, with the women that are in my community and in my world, that when plans change, when dynamics change, there is a really hard time. And if you know, you know. I know you know. If when things change, it feels like the world is ending. We get easily triggered. It feels really just intense. And so I just want to say this is that you're allowed to renegotiate. And this is, I think, also talking about high achievers. We all have this real ability to see the long-term vision of something and work towards it. This is why when I talk to high achievers, this is like we can just really get dialed in on a goal and not let it go. And that is great in career. He's in medical school. Maybe you are approaching a similar degree or something like that. And you have this idea or vision for the relationship, and you are just like he's dialed in to get his medical degree, you're dialed into the relationship, but you called yourself out right here. I say this with so much love when the dynamics changed. And so all of this to me, and there's some story here around whatever, and not to dismiss that, but I just want to point out everything after that is because of when dynamics change, you get to renegotiate, you get to revisit, you get to look at it again because it's not the same. And this is also just a big piece in relationship in general, I feel, where we get really conflict avoidant. We don't want to talk about it. I don't want to rock the boat. Things are so good. I'm keeping my eye on the prize. When really you're ignoring it's like rearranging chairs in the sinking Titanic. Like you have to renegotiate, right? I mean, I love that you're focused and like want to give it your all, and he's so amazing. I totally get it. But the reality is the circumstances have changed. Things change. And P.S., that is relationship. Y'all, that is relationship. Dynamics change. You are supposed to grow. He is supposed to grow. And yes, it's tough when what we want is the circumstances change. It's like, okay, you want to rearrange the deck chairs, but it's sinking, right? So you can try to rearrange the deck chairs, but it's sinking. I'm not saying it's sinking for you, but it's possible. And so we have to, yes, we can want what we want, but we have to be real. I'll say that again, holding your hand and not. I'm happy to hold your hand or not. Things have changed. So then the reality is you have to look at what's in front of you. Okay? It's not, the future's a fantasy. It's not here. The future's a fantasy. It's not real. It's not here. You have to be real and be with what is in this moment. So if there's this feeling like I made a compromise, I didn't want to let it go, well, I just respectfully, like, that is relationship. It is ebb and flow. It's a dance. And it sounds like to me, he wanted to go one direction, or he changed direction in the dance. And you're like, well, wait. And that's when the dance feels like a fight. Now, I'm not saying that he gets to just stomp wherever he wants to. What I'm saying is that you have a choice. I'm saying you have a choice. And you get to be with what's real and what is, and to look honestly and to be honest with your feelings around that, and understand that yes, circumstances change, but you always have choice. We always have choice. Okay? And you're also in the Healing Girl Gang. Literally, this is like so perfect. The topic for March is all around this: communicating your needs without feeling needy, setting healthy boundaries, asking for what you want, which you are totally allowed to do. I strongly suggest you do. So, Healing Girl Gang, it's going to be in there. I believe in you. Be real, be honest with yourself, and I'll see you on the inside. Mwah.